It's Super Bowl time. Go Redskins! They didn't make it? Oh. Go Browns! Didn't make it either. Well, how about them Colts? Ooh, 2-14? Well, just because your team didn't make it to the Super Bowl doesn't mean you can't still have a good time. In fact, a recent survey was done and found that while more than half of people watch the Super Bowl for the game itself, over a quarter cite their primary reason as being able to hang out with their friends and have a good time. And you know what? I can't argue with that. And one of the best things about a Super Bowl party is the great food people bring. Now, you could bring a store-bought tray of vegetables or a bag of chips and salsa, or you could try and make something special. I'm Bill. This is Bacon, and you're watching Another Cooking Show. Alright, first up, buffalo chicken dip. This one's always been a crowd pleaser, and I think you'll like it too. Surprisingly simple. We're going to start with 5 cups cooked and shredded chicken, add to a pan I've preheated over medium to medium-low heat. Just want to warm this up. We don't want to cook it all the way through. It's already been cooked. To this, we're going to add 1 bottle of your favorite hot sauce. Real simple. Then, we're just going to mix to combined. What we're going for here is just to get all the chicken meat to soak up the hot sauce. Now to this we want to add some celery. 1.5 cups diced celery. This is about 4 stalks. Remember, we want to dice it, we don't want to just slice it. Okay, that's mixed pretty well. So our next step, 16 ounces cream cheese. If you're using a tub, it's 1 tub. If you're going to use the blocks, it's 2 blocks. Just get whatever's on sale. It helps to have softened your cream cheese a little while before making this. Alright, the cream cheese is melted. So now we want to go ahead and add 1 8-ounce bottle, that's 1 cup if you like to buy in bulk, of a ranch dressing. You can use blue cheese dressing too, or if you can find it, ranch and blue cheese combination dressing. You could also make your own, but we're a little bit lazy here. And again, stir to combined. Now notice I didn't add any salt. Why is that? Well, let's just look at the bottle of hot sauce. 70 servings per container, 190 milligrams per serving. That's about 14,000 milligrams of sodium. A healthy person should only have 4,000 a day. So, if you hear that banging sound, that's the health police trying to knock on my door asking what the hell I'm doing. But again, this is just an appetizer you're going to be sharing. You're not going to be crazy enough to eat this all at once, are you? Well, I might be, but... Okay, and now that that's all well mixed up, we'll kill our heat. We'll get a 9 by 13 glass baking pan. I'm just going to pour this whole thing right into there. Try not to leave anything behind you don't have to. And now that that's laid out, we're going to take some Mexican cheese blend. We're going to take at least 1 cup. Just give it a nice topping of cheese. Honestly, if you like cheese, you can use as much as you want. Either go straight to the oven, or you can put it in the refrigerator overnight, which is great if you're trying to cook in advance and you're having your party tomorrow. So now that you've finished making your dip, and you've either gone right from the pan or you've refrigerated it for a while, regardless, you're going to want to preheat your oven to 350 degrees. Put it in on the middle of the oven and bake for 30 minutes. After 30 minutes, it's ready to come out of the oven. And there you have it. Allow this to cool at least half an hour. You're going to be tempted to dig in right away, but it's very hot. Best thing to serve this with? Tortilla chips. Well, that about wraps things up. I mean, that was pretty easy, wasn't it? And it should please all your guests. Oh! Hey man, what's up? Come and yeah, you can bring your new girlfriend, that's fine. And what's that? She works for a chicken rights group? Oh. Well, yeah, you can bring her, no problem. Looks like we're going to have to move on to Plan B. Okay, we're back and we're ready to make some crab dip. I'm going to start by preheating a medium-sized pan. We're going to take some more cream cheese. As before, you can use two 8-ounce blocks or 1 16-ounce tub. Do your best to get this good and spread out. If you're using blocks, it might be a good idea to cut them up a bit. We're just going to let that get started melting. Once it's started to melt a little bit, I'm going to add our first ingredient, well, second ingredient I should say, hot sauce. And we're just going to tap this about 6 times. And you can do more if you like hot sauce. In addition, I'm going to use some Worcester sauce. About, I'd say about 3 or 4 tablespoons, but this is a recipe you're going to eyeball. So just, splash it generously, try and get a little bit on all the cream cheese. And feel free to mix it around a bit. Doesn't look pretty now, but you'll like it when it's done. Our next step is going to be some crab seasoning. Old Bay's one of the most popular and it's pretty easy to find. And again, you're going to add about 4 tablespoons, but again, you're just eyeballing this. So just give a generous portion across all the cream cheese. So at this point, well, it's crab dip. So what do? You add some crab. Get the, don't worry about getting the super expensive, super nice stuff. Go ahead and get the stuff that's in the aisle with the tuna fish. You'll see it's minced up pretty good. And that's just what we want. We want to get a little crab spread throughout. If you buy a can of lumped crab meat, very good, but it just doesn't work as well in this. So go ahead, save some money, use the cheaper stuff. We'll do the nicer crab in another episode. You'll want to drain it before you, after you open the can, but not completely. Get a little bit of that crab liquid in here. That'll help bring some flavor to the party. And we want to mix it up, get the crab nice and easily distributed. At this point too, if you wanted to make a crab and artichoke dip instead, you just dice up a few artichoke hearts, toss them in, mix them up. You'll probably find a lot of recipes calling for mayonnaise, and in my opinion, you really don't need it. Cream cheese will be creamy enough. Mayonnaise can help lighten it up if you find it too dense. In which case I would just to this mix add about 1/4 cup. Now that the crab's mixed in pretty well, we're going to add some cheese. Again, we're eyeballing it, but we're going to add 1/4 cup grated Parmesan cheese. You can use the nicer stuff here. The stuff you might find in the deli. The stuff you find on the Italian food aisle next to the tomato sauce, that's actually dehydrated Parmesan cheese. And don't get me wrong, it has its uses, but it's just not as good. We'll also get an Italian cheese blend, some type of, like an Italian 4-cheese blend. This one is mozzarella, provolone, Asiago, and mild cheddar. We're going to add about 1 cup. But again, we're just eyeballing, so you don't have to be exact. And we'll mix that up and let it melt. Okay, mixed together and it's thickened up pretty well. So now it might be a good idea to think about what to serve it in. Since one step is going to be broiling this, just to melt the cheese, I like to use these. These are earthenware crocks, typically used for a French onion soup would be the most common. That's also another show. But the nice thing about these is that they'll hold heat well and they'll stand up to a broiler. You can also use an earthenware pie pan. That'll work pretty well. Something like a glass dish you might be able to get away with, but you're going to want to read it. Take a look at the bottom, and if it says no broiler, maybe not the best idea. Now if you don't have anything that's safe to put under a broiler, you can just bake this and keep it close to the burner. So this makes enough to fill about 2 of these. So we're going to kill the heat, and we're going to divide this up as evenly as we can. I'm going to take some more cheese and just sprinkle it on and be generous. And a little more Parmesan as well. Okay, and now we've preheated our broiler to high. Like I was saying earlier, you want to choose something you can safely put under the broiler. This might look like a tempting choice, especially if you do a double recipe. But check the bottom. If you can read it, no stovetop, no broiler. So this would be a no-go. Now if this is all you have, you just bake this at maybe 400 degrees. It'll take a little longer. You want to put your oven rack as close to the broiler as you reasonably can. If you have an under the stove broiler, even better. Let it preheat on high, or if you were just doing a regular bake for a non-broiler safe dish, about 400 degrees. I'd put it on a cookie sheet to make it easier to handle. Just slide it in. Okay, and we're starting to get some lovely brown and black spots. So we're going to kill the broiler. And let's take a look. And there we have it. Cheese has turned melted and turned nice and brown. This could have probably gone a little longer, but I'm pretty happy with it. What do you serve this with? Toasted pita bread, tortilla chips. Pita chips all work really well. You could also use crackers if you'd like. No, it's no problem. No problem at all. Okay, bye. I tell you, it's hard these days. You got gluten allergies, lactose intolerance, peanut allergies, vegetarians, vegans, caveman diets. So many picky eaters, I tell you, it's enough to drive a man to drink. Hey, I got an idea. I've never heard of anybody who's allergic to hummus before. Let's make that. So next up, hummus. It's pretty popular right now and arguably pretty healthy, consisting mostly of garlic, lemon juice, sesame seed paste, and chickpeas. Pretty easy to make. We're going to start with about 8 cloves of garlic. More if they're small. If they're large, use them anyways. You could use less garlic, but if you don't like garlic, there's something wrong with you. So we're going to put in, we're not going to worry about chopping or anything because this is all going to be pureed. We're going to follow this with 2 cans of chickpeas that have been drained and rinsed. We go right in with the garlic. Now we need fluid. Now this is where you got to be careful because not all chickpeas are created equal. Some are going to be drier, some are going to be damper. These are pretty dry, but I want to be sure. So I'm going to be careful with my liquid. Going to only add, for now, 1/4 cup of the reserved liquid from the cans of chickpeas. The juice of 1 lemon. That's about 3 tablespoons if you're using a bottle of juice. 3 tablespoons of tahini paste. Tahini is ground sesame seed paste, kind of like peanut butter. In fact, if you've ever seen natural peanut butter, it behaves much the same way. When you first open it up, there will probably be a film of oil on top. You're just going to want to shake it up real good, make sure it's well blended, not too clumpy. Okay. To this we're also going to add a pinch of salt. That's just because you add some salt to everything. As well as about 2 tablespoons of olive oil. Just going to do this by eye. Use your good olive oil here, some like an extra virgin olive oil. Don't use your cheaper stuff. This is not cooked, so the flavor is going to really show. Now cover your ears because we're going to pulse this a few times really quickly. Let's take a look. Okay, this is actually pretty good. This is about the consistency we're looking for. Still a little gritty. Now at this point, if you wanted to add some extra flavor, maybe some roasted red pepper, olives, or any type of the things you might find on top of it in the store, now would be a good time. But let's give it a little taste and see. This doesn't seem tart enough, so I'm going to add another 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. If it seems too bland, add lemon juice. If it seems too sour, add reserved liquid. If it's just gritty, add more olive oil. We're going to do 2 tablespoons of juice. We're going to resume blending. Okay, this looks really good to me. So I'm going to give it another taste just to see. Still a little gritty. So that can be solved by just adding a little bit more olive oil. Now you do want some texture. You don't want this to be a chickpea soup. That's also why we didn't add all the liquid at once. And pay attention to your beans too. If they seem really moist, some brands are really moist, and in that case you're going to want to use way less liquid. If you have to cut anything in that case, cut out the reserved fluid from the cans. And that looks perfect. Give it one more taste, just to be sure. I'm pretty happy with it. So next thing you want to do is move it to an airtight container. If you're making this before your party, you can take care of this maybe 2 or 3 days in advance. Not much longer though. And for a real classy presentation, when you're right before your party, you can move this into a fancy bowl. Of course, if you're going to be lowbrow like me, you just serve it out of this. Just before you serve it, take your olive oil again. Just drizzle a little bit on the top. And there you have it, homemade hummus.